Plans satisfy populists in the Congress.
Our Fox panel is here to talk about that, including Peter Schiff, author of Crash Proof, Pat Powell from Powell Financial, Brenda Butner from Fox News, and Quentin Hardy from Forbes magazine as well. So, Peter, what about this? There was speculation out there, and some of the people who speculated were pretending that they were going to actually live in these homes. Is there any way to prevent them from getting bailed out?
Well, sure. I think almost everybody was speculating. Even the people who were planning on living there believed the houses were going to appreciate. That's one of the reasons they were willing to commit to these huge mortgages. But we got to get to the root of this. This is all a gimmick. The borrowers don't need any help. They have all the cards. They can walk away from these mortgages. Their liabilities, the typical subprime borrower, even prime borrower now with an ARM, it's not a question of payments. It's a question of the mortgage exceeding the value of the property. They can walk away from these things. The government doesn't need to do anything. And ultimately, the lenders are going to be forced to negotiate with these people and reduce the principal, the value of the mortgage.
Let's get
the house and have negative equity.
Quentin, you know, it looks like Republicans and Democrats are behind this. Is that enough to get it going?
Well, it'll get going. Something will happen here. And I must say the banks are really just acting like local bankers used to. Somebody's in a jam. You give them a little extra time. You try and help them along. You sort out who's really going to pay and who's going to run away. You know, they did all these consolidations and all these roll-ups and all this bundling, and they lost sight of the fact that housing is often a local and specific situation. And now they're trying to remedy that a little bit.
Can they that way, Brenda, or need there be something else like Ms. Day suggested?
No, if she wants to get Congress and courts involved, give me a break. And I've had lots of guests like her in my house, by the way, too. You were very, very polite. I would not have been so. Look, it's in everybody's best interest that the people stay in their home. That's the bottom line. It's in the bank's best interest. It's in the family's best interest. I think that's being forgotten in all this.
If they can afford it.
And they need to know. I mean, a lot of people actually don't know that they can go to the bank and say, I'm having trouble. I don't want to foreclose. The bank's going to lose money. They're going to lose money. So I think this 30 days is a good thing. Look, I mean, Ms. Day was, you know, said it didn't go far enough. Well, it does a little bit.
Pat, if we keep this to dollars and cents here, who comes out the winner when it comes to the business end of all of this?
Actually, everybody does. The banks come out the winner if people are actually making payments on their mortgage. If they take a 5% rate instead of a 6 or 7% rate that nobody's paying, they're winners. People who stay in their homes are winners. And quite frankly, the entire economy is a winner if we don't have these massive foreclosures. So I think it's a really smart and win-win situation for everybody.
But remember, just keeping people in a home, even if they're making payments for a while, if the home is worth $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 less than their mortgage, they are not going to maintain these homes, they're not going to repair them, and they're going to be bigger losses.
Primary residence, Peter.
Well, you know
because they're not going to throw money down a rat hole. If your house is worth negative $200,000 and all of a sudden you get a $30,000 repair bill, you're not going to sink more money there. You're going to ignore it. You're just going to try to live with it, or you're just going to abandon the property.
Peter, that's nonsense. If your house is worth negative $200,000, you probably had a house that was $1 million. That's in the upper areas. Look at the reports. The upper income areas aren't falling apart. What's falling apart is the lower areas on the outskirts of town.
There are houses in Vegas and Phoenix that are down 40, 50%.
And what's really important is that no deadbeats need apply.
It is a very lucky situation.
Hold on, Quentin. What is it, Pat?
What's really important here is no deadbeats need apply. And they are trying to weed out the speculators, the people who are into the house flipping business. This is a reasonable, rational compromise, and the wonderful part about it is we can keep Congress out of it. When you start getting Congress rethinking the law and redoing contracts and getting courts involved, this is going to drag on for a long time and be very expensive.
When you look at the market apparently likes what they see, at least so far. We see a lot of the housing stocks helping to boost the Dow right now up 200 points.
Yeah. Well, even if you're negative equity by $20,000, people are still not going to have incentives to make repairs.
Oh, you are so positive. I would fix my fence if I just had $20,000.
We got to leave it